So then, we'll follow the tide down to its lowest point, where the creatures live that can't stand being out of the water for more than just a few minutes at the lowest tides. And then we'll follow them back up the beach and see what's at each level. On this particular day, the tide was low at about 5 o'clock in the morning, so we had to get up before breakfast. But it was a beautiful morning. Even when we first got up, you could see the surf white against the dark background of the sea. We strolled down over the sand exposed by the receding waves, and down about half tide we began to see signs of the razor clam. Now this is a very characteristic beast of the shifting sandy beaches where there's a heavy surf. So with a shovel we get busy to bring one of these fellows up so we can have a look at it. Now on many beaches this razor clam can dig so fast that it's almost impossible to get it with a shovel unless you're quite skillful. But on this sand beach on the west coast of Vancouver Island, the sand is so hard when the tide is out that you can drive your automobile on it, and the clams have the greatest of difficulty in burrowing. So this slows them down so that even the relatively early morning biologist can catch up with them. In these dimples in the sand, you'll see the proboscis of the clam, a snout-like structure with two openings in it, one through which the clam takes in water along with its load of oxygen and food, and the other, it pumps out the water after it has strained out what it needs. And here's one that got stranded by the tide before it managed to get quite below the sand. Now this animal is in a very dangerous position, washed away by the next incoming wave, rolling and bashing up the beach. It was making a valiant effort to get down again before some wandering seagull or eagle or raven manages to find it, or before the sand goes completely dry and the clam is unable to burrow in it at all. Putting out its foot, it shoves the foot into the sand, expands the end of the foot, and then pulls back on it, jetting a little bit of water in at the same time. You can see the long white snout sticking out at the other end. Its technical name is a siphon. It's a good name for it because it's largely used for taking in water. Each one of these surges takes place when the animal pulls back on the foot that's extended and then enlarged. Here it is, just about in. May have got in far enough to be safe before the tide left it. But if it's a very hot day, the animal is apt to get dried out. So it's going to try again, get a little further down. But it's finding the going pretty tough down there now that the sand has no longer got water over it.